what is HTML, what is CSS, how HTML works, how CSS works, HTML with CSS and HTML without CSS. Assalamu alaikum guys, hope you're doing good. So in today's video we would be learning and starting from the basics of web development. A lot of you guys have been making requests on this video and the most commonly asked questions were what is HTML, what is CSS, how HTML works, how CSS works, HTML with CSS and HTML without CSS. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is not a programming language but a markup language and is used to make web pages. Web browsers receive HTML documents from a web server or from a local storage and render the documents into multimedia web pages. HTML also describes the structure of a web page, that how a web page should be, and originally includes cues for the appearance of the document. HTML elements are the building blocks of a HTML page. With HTML, constructs, images and other objects such as interactive forms may be embedded into the rendered page. HTML also provides a means to create structured documents by denoting structural semantics for text such as headings, paragraphs, lists, links, quotes, and other items. HTML elements are represented by tags written using angle brackets, which will be shown later in the video. Moreover, HTML can embed programs written in a scripting language such as JavaScript, which affects the behavior and content of the web pages. Now, as I've mentioned earlier, we need HTML tags to make an HTML document. HTML tags are basically keywords which define that how web browser will format and display the content. With the help of tags, a web browser can distinguish between an HTML content and a simple content. HTML tags contain three main parts: opening tag, content, and the closing tag. But some HTML tags are unclosed tags. When a web browser reads an HTML document, browser reads it from top to bottom and left to right. HTML tags are used to create HTML documents and render their properties. Each HTML tags have their different properties. An HTML file must have some essential tags so that web browser can differentiate between a simple text and an HTML text. You can use as many tags you want as per your code. All HTML tags should be enclosed within the brackets. Every tag in HTML performs different tasks. If you have used an open tag, then you must use a closed tag as well. As you can see, the following picture shows a list of common types of tags used. Out of those, we have the basic tags, formatting tags, we have the image tags, the link tags, the list tags, the general tags, the programming tags, the meta tags, the media tags, the table tags, and the form tags. We'll have a look on each of these tags in the video which I'll be making later on. But for today, we'll go with the basics. How HTML works. So in my previous video, I've told which software to use and how to start with HTML. The link of the previous video is being shown on the top. You could click on it and play the video and start learning how to start with HTML. This here, as you can see, is the basic setup of how to start with HTML. We have used the HTML tag, the title tag, and the body tag over here. So we're done with HTML, let's talk about CSS. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. CSS is a computer language for laying out and structuring web pages. This language contains coding elements and is composed of these cascading style sheets, which are equally called CSS files, represented as .css. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen, paper, or in other media. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once, and external style sheets are stored in CSS files. Now there are three types of CSS which are given below. They're known as inline CSS, internal or embedded CSS, and last but not the least, the external CSS. Starting from inline CSS contains the CSS property in the body section attached with element is known as inline CSS. This kind of style is specified within an HTML tag using the style attribute. The second one is the internal or embedded CSS. This can be used when a single HTML document must be styled uniquely. The CSS rule set should be within the HTML file in the head section, that is, the CSS is embedded within the HTML file. And last but not least, we have the external CSS. External CSS contains separate CSS files which contain only style property with the help of tag attributes, for example the class, ID, heading, etc. CSS property written in a separate file with .css extension and should be linked to the HTML document using the link tag. This means that for each element, style can be set only once and that will be applied across the web pages. Now this basically is an example of HTML without CSS. There are no colors, no hoverings and no animations. Just the structure of a web page showing the position and size of the text and hyperlinks as well. On the top we have the heading tag, which is used for headings and will be explained in the next videos. Then in purple we have the hyperlinks. Hyperlink is basically a link from a hypertext document to another location activated by clicking on a highlighted word or image. I have also made a video on which I have made a gaming website and have told about the hyperlinks in detail. The link for that video is being shared on the top, which you can check out. Then we have the paragraph header, and on the last we have the paragraph. So this is HTML without CSS. Now as you can see, the image on the left shows HTML with CSS and the right one shows HTML without CSS. On the right you could see there are just the font sizes, the hyperlinks and the structure of the document, whereas on the left you could see all those colors, the text boxes, the icons, and how the pictures are being displayed, and everything is easy to understand as well. So that's all for this video. The working of HTML and CSS will be uploaded in the next videos, and I've also shared the link of the video where you could write the text and code of your HTML and CSS document. So that's all for today. Do like the video and subscribe if you've liked the video. Stay tuned. Thank you.